Hey there, this is Tracy, and today we're going to talk about how we were all tricked by the diet and food industries and the government. We're also going to talk about why our hormones got all messed up and how all calories are not created equal. But first, a little bit of history. In 1980, the US ranked 11th in longevity. Today, we are 26th. Every 34 seconds, a person in the US dies from heart disease. Americans have the poorest health in the industrial world, despite spending the most per capita on healthcare. The life expectancy has been lowered for the first time in about 25 years, meaning that children today are not expected to live as long as their parents. According to the CDC, a third to a half of our children are expected to get type 2 diabetes in their lifetime. And 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women are expected to have cancer. And yet heart disease is still the leading cause of death. The Framingham Heart Study, which is the longest run study on heart disease, shows that cholesterol does not cause heart disease. Yet how many people are on medication for cholesterol? And the American Cancer Society says that only 5 to 10% of cancers are inherited via gene mutation. The others are caused by environmental factors and lifestyle, and that more than half of all cancer deaths could be prevented by making healthy choices. Obesity is now considered a disease that is horrible because it leads to so many other conditions, including heart disease, cancer, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, asthma, PCOS, sleep apnea, gallbladder disease, and so much more. Many experts agree that degenerative disease is highly preventable. Now, what happened? Why did we get so sick? Well, I'm going to show you a quick little map that I found on the CDC website. Now, obesity is the second leading cause of preventable deaths. And in 1985, the country was doing pretty well. There was this map that the obesity trends, and the light blue stands for under 10%, and the dark blue is 10 to 14% of each state that's obese, okay? So look at the progression. In 86, a few more states go to the dark blue color. Also in 87, so you can see that the prevalence of obesity is climbing. In 1990, about half of the country is in the 10 to 14%. And in 91, we have to add a new color. So now 4 states are between 15 and 19% obese. And that number continues to climb. 95, half of the states are between 15 and 19% obese. And 96, 97, we have to add a new color because now 3 states are over 20% obese. And that number continues to climb. 99, 2000, about half of the states are over 20% obese. And in 2001, we add another color. Now 1 state is over 25%. And you will see that number continuing to climb. 2004, 2005, we have to add another color. Over 30% obese in 3 states. And that continues to climb. So you must wonder why this is happening. And here's a summary. You can see this very, very clearly that in 1990, we were about 10%. In 2000, we were about 20%. And in 2010, we are about 25 or so more percentage. This is crazy. So what happened? Why did our country get obese? Well, that is what I'm going to tell you about. So why is our country so sick? Well, do you remember that little movement that it was like a low-fat, non-fat movement where everybody was not eating fat because of cholesterol? Well, that was because there was a researcher, his name is Ansel Keys, and he had a hypothesis that there was a correlation between consumption of saturated fat and heart disease. And he did an international study and he compared all these different countries and their diet. Well, what happened was any of the countries that didn't fall along his hypotheses, he took out the data from his publication. And so he didn't publish the data that showed that there really wasn't a correlation. But nobody knew it at the time. And so fat was demonized. Well, what happened? They took out the fat from many foods and they filled it with something else to make the food taste good, and that was sugar. So do you remember? I loved it back then because I thought I was doing everything right. I remember eating fat-free Snackwells and Entenmann's pastries and thinking, oh, no problem. It's not fattening. I can eat as much as I want. Or what about like we'd eat bagels but no cream cheese, or potatoes but no butter, and just fat-free sour cream. I remember living off of burritos with fat-free beans, fat-free cheese, fat-free sour cream, and fat-free tortillas. And I thought I was doing myself healthy. Oh, and ate lots and lots of salad with fat-free dressing or just vinegar or lemon juice. I mean, it was horrible. But the fat-free cheese had to be the worst. That was like eating rubber. Why bother? So, why was I always hungry? It was because I wasn't eating enough fat. So 3 meals a day, 2 snacks a day. My blood sugar was raising and lowering, spiking, and it was crazy. But the worst part was the constipation. I don't know if you remember that part of it, but without fat to lube the pipes, things got backed up and it was pretty uncomfortable. So there was a lot of problems with not having fat. Well, one of the biggest ones is cholesterol is responsible for hormone production. So when we remove fat from our diet, we remove cholesterol because we have that big fear. I recommend this great book. It's called Cholesterol Clarity, and it will really explain the whole thing about the cholesterol problem and how we really need cholesterol for hormone production. Okay, so you want to eat fat. That is what I want to show you. All calories are not created equal. When we remove fat calories and add in sugar calories, everything gets all wonky. So I'm going to give you a little homework assignment, a little journal assignment. So write down your path, your history, your story. Okay, write down your story about what got you to today, the diets you've been on, like your whole struggles. Feel the pain, feel the joy, and write your story. And then tomorrow, I'm going to teach you how to rewrite your story. I'm also going to share with you 3 women who've inspired me like crazy. And I'm going to show you some more juicy details about the health benefits of eating more fat. If you have any questions about the information covered in today's video, please comment below. And while you're there, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any juicy details, and share it with a friend who needs this message. So don't forget, do your homework, and I will see you tomorrow on the next video.